rain was tapping against the windows of the Blue Mirage, a jazz club that had seen better nights and worse mornings. Charlie Vega played the piano like a man confessing his sins, each note soaked in whiskey and regret. His fingers danced over the keys, but his eyes were dead, two black mirrors reflecting every bad decision he'd ever made. The crowd didn't know his story. They just heard the pain. Behind the bar, the owner polished glasses, pretending not to notice the man in the gray trench coat near the door. That man wasn't there for music. He was there for Charlie, and Charlie knew it. The melody slowed, turned minor, and hung in the air like smoke before breaking into silence. Somewhere in the back, a woman started to cry. Her name was Evelyn Hart, and she was the kind of woman who made promises with her eyes and broke them with her lips. Once, she and Charlie had been lovers, partners in music and in crime. Together, they'd run cons through smoky bars, pretending to be stars while robbing fools blind. But when the money got real, so did the lies. She disappeared one night with a suitcase full of cash and left Charlie bleeding in a back alley. That was 5 years ago. Now she was sitting front row, looking like a dream he wished he hadn't remembered. And dreams like that always end the same way, in blood and blues. The man in the trench coat approached the bar, ordered bourbon, and watched. His name was Detective Ray Marlowe, a cop who'd lost faith in saints and slept beside sinners. He had a file on Charlie, thick enough to break a desk. But tonight wasn't about the past. It was about a murder. A nightclub owner named Benny Doyle was found dead behind the club, a bullet in his gut, and Charlie's lighter next to the body. Funny thing, Marlowe had said when they found it. Musicians usually play with keys, not triggers. Now he was here to see if Charlie would play his last tune before the cuffs came out. Evelyn stood as the set ended, her heels clicking on the floor like the sound of distant gunfire. "Hello, Charlie," she said, her voice smooth as smoke. "You look like hell." "You look expensive," he replied without smiling. She laughed, that same laugh that once made him steal, fight, and bleed. "We need to talk," she whispered, sliding into the booth beside him. "About Benny." The name froze the air. "You killed him," she said, eyes sharp. "No," Charlie said, "but someone wants me to think I did." They slipped into the alley behind the club, where rain turned the pavement into a mirror of neon sins. "You set me up once before," he said. "Why should I believe you now?" Evelyn lit a cigarette, the flame carving her face out of the dark. "Because if they find you before I do, you'll never play again." She handed him a photo. Benny with a group of men Charlie didn't recognize. "They wanted the money we took," she said softly. "And now they want revenge." Charlie stared at her through the smoke. "And you?" he asked. "I just want to live long enough to regret it," she said. Marlowe followed from a distance, his coat collecting rain and secrets. He'd seen too many like them. Broken people, trying to glue their souls together with lies. The photo Evelyn handed over was the missing piece. One of the men was a crooked cop, Marlowe's old partner, Frankie Boyd. The kind of man who sold out anyone for a bottle and a favor. If Boyd was in it, this was bigger than a nightclub killing. It was about dirty money, buried deals, and the last man alive who could talk, Charlie Vega. The night turned ugly fast. Frankie showed up with a gun and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "You should have stayed behind that piano, Vega," he said, stepping out of the shadows. Evelyn froze. Marlowe drew first, but Frankie was faster. The alley exploded with light and sound. 3 shots, 1 scream, and the piano man hit the ground. Evelyn fell beside him, clutching his hand. "Don't die on me, Charlie," she said, tears cutting through the rain. "Play something," he whispered. "For old times." And then the light went out. The papers called it a shootout. Dirty cop dead, jazz pianist killed in crossfire. Nobody mentioned Evelyn. Marlowe gave his statement, burned the photo, and left the badge on the chief's desk. Some nights when the streets get too quiet, he swears he hears Charlie's piano in the distance. Soft, slow, like a heartbeat fading into the dark. The Blue Mirage reopened a month later under new management. They kept the old piano, still stained with cigarette burns and memories. Evelyn vanished again, just like before. Some say she ran off to Chicago. Others say she joined Charlie somewhere better than this rotten city. Marlowe didn't believe in heaven, but he hoped there was one for people who'd lost everything and still tried to love. Because in the end, that's all Charlie ever did. Love too hard, play too long, and die too soon. Years later, the Blue Mirage still stands, though the paint peels and the jazz sounds tired. Tourists come and go, chasing ghosts of a song they never knew. But when the rain hits the roof and the night gets heavy, the old piano starts playing on its own. Just a few notes, enough to remind the city that legends never really die. Only the people who believe in them do.